Back with our breaking news and a possible compromise on Capitol Hill to save the U.S. government, at least temporarily, from an economic catastrophe. This potential deal comes as a devastating new poll finds that 55% of the American people, according to a Quinnipiac poll, disapprove of President Biden's handling of the economy. And the president is seeing the lowest score on his job performance since taking office, only 38% approval. Now, as CNN's Jeff Zeleny reports, voters in Michigan are telling him that their patience is running thin.
Just like it's healthy in a dysfunctional family to air your grievances, but I don't think it's smart.
The dysfunctional family Lori Goldman's talking about is the Democratic Party and its messy divide in Washington.
I think we have to be a little more pragmatic about what we can do and what we can't do.
She campaigned for President Biden and remains hopeful he can unify the party around his domestic agenda, now endangered by disagreements among progressive and moderate Democrats. Biden came to Michigan on Tuesday, eager to take the conversation into the country.
I want those jobs here in Michigan, not halfway around the globe.
It was his fourth presidential visit to a state he narrowly won last year. Voters here say they're watching him carefully, with optimism.
He's been really, really good. He's willing to tell the truth, regardless of the political consequences.
And skepticism.
I have to give him mixed reviews.
Ken Damerow, an independent, and Susan Sharon, a Republican, are longtime friends. He believes Biden has restored competence to the White House.
I think he's trying to run as a fair dealer, and he's trying to work with the other side. Unfortunately, the other side, I don't think, is interested in working with him.
She worries about the cost of Biden's programs.
I can't even fathom $1 trillion, and yet, they're just going out like no big deal.
After a summer of setbacks on Afghanistan and COVID, the president is scrambling to prove his party can govern. Congresswoman Alyssa Slotkin, whose district Biden visited, fears the gridlock in the Capitol will turn off some voters.
Look, do I wish we were more productive? Yeah. Am I fighting and trying to push people that way? Yes.
The hostility outside the Union Training Center did not escape Biden's eye.
Notwithstanding some of the signs that I saw come, that's why 81 million Americans voted for me.
But he firmly believes his individual economic plans have broad appeal. Several Biden supporters here say they're willing to be patient.
I don't agree with everything, but I know his heart is right, and that's important.
Lori Goldman is too, but she believes Biden must make his case more forcefully.
Take a page from the Trump playbook. Less apologizing, more explaining, and get more done.
From the Trump playbook?
Yeah. He never apologized for anything. I'd like him to get out there and just charge ahead.
Now, Jake, you mentioned those declining poll numbers earlier. Those numbers come alive when you talk with voters here in battleground Michigan. But one thing also is true, talking to independent and Democratic voters as well. They believe that if President Biden and Democrats come together to pass some of this agenda, it is broadly popular. So the White House at least hopes those numbers would go up. But that, of course, is very much an open question, because as we know, there is still no deal on the Biden economic plan. Jake.
All right, Jeff Zeleny in Detroit, Michigan, thanks so much. Let's discuss this all with Democratic Congresswoman Barbara Lee of California, who's on the Congressional Progressive Caucus. Congresswoman, great to see you. Let's start off with this Quinnipiac poll showing that more than half of Americans, 55%, say the Biden administration is not competent when it comes to running the government. When you look at last week's failure to get an infrastructure deal and the larger Build Back Better spending package, as promised by Democratic leadership, as promised by the White House, are you surprised by these numbers?
Thank you, Jake, for having me with you this afternoon. Let me tell you, this president has been fighting from day one very hard on behalf of the American people. Now, what I have to say is this. People are really more familiar with the last 4 years in terms of dictatorial, autocratic rule out of the White House by Donald Trump. And so this president has been trying for the last 10 months to make sure that he brings the country together on behalf of everyone in our country. And the agenda that he campaigned on, yes, it's very difficult. No one said it was going to be easy. But I tell you one thing, he's been fighting every day to bring consensus to the caucus as well as our speaker. And in fact, 96, 97% of our Democratic caucus, we're together. And so focusing on the glass half empty, I think is what people are doing. because they're frustrated. They want to see something happen right away because we're still living in a pandemic. People's lives and livelihoods are at stake, and they want to see us get something done. But we're doing that. But I understand where people are coming from. But I have to just tell you, I know this president. I've been in meetings with him, and I know good and well that he is doing everything he can do to get this agenda passed, because it is an economic agenda that's going to bring jobs and bring the economy back.
So you were among the lawmakers who spoke with President Biden on Monday. He says that he thinks this Build Back Better spending package to improve the social safety net, to spend more money on programs like daycare, child care, and elder care and the like. He thinks it needs to be, in order to pass, not $3.5 trillion, but somewhere around $2 trillion, between $1.9 trillion and $2.2 trillion. Would you be, I know that's not what you want, but would you be willing to go along with that number in order to get this entire agenda passed?
Jake, let me answer it like this. First of all, this is an economic agenda, and people talk and put it in context of a social agenda, but this is an economic agenda. We're talking about reducing poverty. We're talking about a living wage, good paying union jobs. We're talking about addressing the climate crisis. We're talking about addressing the housing crisis, going to create affordable housing, good paying jobs. We're talking about workforce development. And so we're talking about investments that are going to get people jobs and help them pull their lives together. And so whatever number we come up with is going to be who wins, who loses, right? If the numbers go down. So we have to make some decisions. Do we want to cut back on reducing child poverty? Do we want to cut back on our elder care? Do we want to cut back on providing a living wage for primarily Black and brown women and men who work in the care economy? Do we want to cut back on workforce training, which would give people of color who have been shut out in many ways from the infrastructure efforts in the country because of the apprenticeship training programs?
Right.
What we have to do to make sure that we include everyone in infrastructure.
But I guess my question for you is, you can't get it passed, you can't get it through Manchin and Sinema in the Senate in order at the level you want. I mean, they're not going to go along with it. Will the House Progressive Caucus be willing to come down to around $2 trillion in order to get at least that $2 trillion out the door to help people the way you describe?
Well, we've said early on, what do the senators want to take off of the table? We recognize the practicality of the negotiations that have to take place. We just want to know who loses, who wins, and we want to know how we can move forward on our priorities. Remember, racial equity and gender equity is so important in this overall plan. It's an economic plan that's going to help repair much of the damage of the past decades. And so people deserve to be able to know that their government is going to work for them regardless of who they are and what their background is and where they live, whether it's in rural and urban communities. So we have to discuss that. We're in the process of negotiating it, and so we have to see who wins and who loses, and it's paid for.
Senator Joe Manchin would not commit to the new October 31st deadline set by Democratic leaders to find a deal on this bill. Is it realistic to think this is going to be settled by the end of the month?
Look, this is evolving as we speak, Jake. You know how these negotiations go. And we are working day and night. Hopefully it will be settled by October 31st. Again, going back to what the American people need. They need immediate investment, something that's going to change their lives right away, something that's going to help them feed their families, something that's going to help them get good paying jobs, something that's going to help young people understand that we're addressing the climate crisis. So we have to do a lot very quickly. And so I'm hoping we can do this as quickly as possible, but these negotiations are taking place amongst different individuals, different members of Congress who have different points of views. This is what democracy should be about. This is how your government works. And so we're going to do this as quickly as possible, but we're moving toward, I think, a very positive conclusion whenever that is, by bringing consensus and unity, at least for Democrats.
Democratic Congresswoman Barbara Lee, thank you so much. Great to have you on. Hope to have you on again sometime soon.